everyone. Today I've got the incredible Annabel Du Boulay with me. Annabel, please could you introduce yourself and share how you were drawn to Avalon?
Hi everyone, so I'm Annabel Du Boulay. I'm the founder of the Avalon Rose Chapel, where I'm sitting now with my Black Panther Stomper, who's decided to join us for the interview. And I first came to Avalon 22 years ago on my eldest daughter Sophia's first birthday. And I was drawn here to really come and remember my past lives here on the ancient Isle of Avalon, the Isle of the Dead, transformation and rebirth, and then to train as a priestess of Avalon with the Glastonbury Goddess Temple. So I have spent the last 22 years journeying here and working every year at the Goddess Conference until I eventually moved down here 13 years ago, where I live in the Avalon Rose Chapel with my family and my many animals. So I'm so looking forward to sharing my journey with you and also working this year at the conference again as a ceremonialist, helping to facilitate your own journey with the incredible energies of Avalon, and especially this year, the Sovereign Goddess of Avalon.
How do you experience and express your spiritual path day to day in Avalon?
So on a day-to-day basis, I walk the land every day with my dogs, and that's how I really connect to my soul, to the energies of Avalon and to my guides. And it's a very important practice to stay grounded and rooted in the energies of the land and connecting to Mother Nature and to the Goddess and to Avalon in all the ways that they are made manifest through the land and through the earth, and especially through the dragon lines. So I have lived on the Mary and Michael dragon lines my entire life, and the Michael ley line actually literally runs straight through the chapel. So for me it's very important to connect with those energies because they anchor the energies of the dragons and of the sacred marriage here in the lands, along with the red and white springs that also create their alchemical sacred marriage. And that for me is one of the most powerful energies in Avalon, is the energy of the sacred marriage deep within the earth, within the dragon lines, and of course within our hearts. And as an Avalon Rose priestess, I work very deeply with the Gnostic path and the belief in the sacred marriage of Sophia and the Christos, and in Magdalene and Yeshua, and in Michael and Mary, and their energies are just so deeply present here in Glastonbury, Avalon, and in the Summerlands.
When we say divine feminine or goddess, what does that mean for you?
Such a big question. So for me, it actually began as quite a political journey back when I was 19 and studying my BA degree in English. And I'd read all the Greek myths, and then I was studying the early Christian mystics. And I asked the question, why is God male? And I really came to Goddess, to the divine feminine, through the Madonna, through Catholicism. As I was fearing the death of my own mother from cancer, I really turned to Mother Mary. And then I spent these incredible 4 summers in a very rural village in southern Italy. And that is where I became fascinated by this interplay between Catholicism and paganism, and began to experience the divine feminine not only in Mother Mary, but deep within the earth, with this very ancient black earth mother goddess, who's the precursor for the Black Madonna tradition that is so alive in southern Italy. And then I spent time in Peru, in the house of a shaman, and traveled with him all over Peru. And that's when I really came to experience the divine feminine as Pachamama in the land, in a much deeper, more shamanic way. And then when I came to Avalon, I continued to really work with the energies of the land and with the divine feminine. And so whilst I continued to study her and study goddess paganism, and which I call goddess theology, and comparing that with feminist theology, I began to really explore the divine feminine, both in goddess paganism and then in the early Christian Gnosticism, those original true teachings before the patriarchal church corrupted and manipulated them. And so that is really my focus spiritually, is on that interplay between what I call the rose lineage and then the ancient Celtic Druidic lineage here in Avalon, because both these lineages have their root in the Neolithic British Isles, and then those teachings were taken to ancient Mesopotamia, and you can track how the mythos and the deities and the archetypes travel all the way down the millennia through ancient Judaism, ancient Egypt, the ancient Greco-Romano pantheon, until they arrive in the early Christian Gnostics, who then bring those teachings back to Glastonbury, Avalon, where they weave with the indigenous existing Celtic Druidic lineage and teachings, but of course they have their shared root in the Neolithic period. And so that is how I love to explore goddess and the divine feminine, but especially in relation to her sacred marriage with the divine masculine, with the god. And that for me is so powerful, especially at this time, is that we honor that sacred marriage, both within and without, and that we come together as healthy men and women, or people who identify with more masculine traits or more feminine traits, and that we come together in mutual honor and respect and union in order to co-create the new Earth Star together, and really to bring the light of the divine feminine, of goddess, back into the world, so that all people can experience her.
Annabel, the last question is, this year's conference theme is the Sovereign Goddess of Avalon. What does sovereignty mean to you, and how does living in Avalon empower you in your sovereignty?
So it's a big question, talking about sovereignty, and for me, I feel it's very personal. So when I am sovereign, I am true to myself and to my own relationship with goddess and God. And being sovereign is especially about my connection to the land and to the deities and all my guides and the energies that are so present here in Avalon. So I think sovereignty for me is about ensuring that I'm always in integrity with myself and my values and my beliefs, and that I am always being conscious of coming from a place of being in direct communion with goddess and God, and offering myself as a vessel for their divine love and wisdom and grace to flow through me for the good of all beings. So for me, it is about being in my power, but from a place of humility and integrity that is grounded in living